Good evening. John Augustine here. Bishop Joseph E. Strickland, Tyler, East Texas. Light. And there's something else there, but it's not a word that I use. And the challenges of the late in the 21st century, that's a kind of smaller and sort of an objective. And in this particular chapter, he's talking about social justice. And but as he develops there, his main concern is his main purpose is for to bring people to the practice of our Savior Jesus Christ and the Catholic faith, the marvelous gift of the Catholic faith with the sacraments, and that's the first requirement. And of course, he came towards the Latin, the universal language of the Catholic faith, as was for centuries, and in my time with churches packed Latin. But this is not about that. So uh, he mentions he's not the most popular bishop in the United States Bishops' Conference and that type of thing. They're focusing on, they're losing sight of their main purpose, which is the Catholic faith and what Jesus, the way, the truth, and the life. They're dealing with social justice issues here, there, and yeah. But the main purpose of a priest and a bishop and anybody with authority is to preach the faith that Jesus suffered and died for on the cross. And the bishop is saying that, which is truth. But there seems to be a lot of people that don't listen to that. He also mentions the laity doing a great work, and they're very involved in the pro-life movement and other good works. And when I say protecting the unborn, which in any civilized society that should be automatic to that there should be no such thing as what this Democratic Party seems to suffer from in that country, in the United States. Because we're talking about Bishop Strickland, he's in the United States, and he knows the chaos and the disunity. Uh, but the pro-life, the laity are doing a great job trying to undo the harm. But it's extraordinary that the political party, the Democrats, are so strange that they and Catholics, with all things to be. I don't know how they can be. They can't be Catholics because it's protecting life from conception to natural death, and that's the main thing. And there's no point in anyone that makes out. And this vice president over there, Harris, it's a woman's body. It's just two people there. It's nothing to do with bodies. That's the great gift of the woman in the world, that she can give birth. Now, first of all, the first thing is to respect herself and all the rest of it, and not the culture over in the United States and in other parts focuses on doing your own thing and all the rest of it. But there's a you have to have a purpose in life to try and do good and respect yourself. So I think that's the fundamental thing that needs to be spelled out over in that country and in this country. And certainly, I represent the Christian TVR and project, and it's along the same lines as what Bishop Joseph E. Strickland talks about. And it's extraordinary that so many over there in that country have gone astray in the area, not focusing on what Jesus laid down, and the 12 apostles, all that they suffered. When they were forgetting about Judas, he committed suicide. But after betrayal of our Saviour. And St. Paul become a very good missionary, going to various places and suffering grievously for his troubles. But he kept at it, and then he was executed then by the Romans, and so Saint Peter. So they were all martyrs for the faith except John, who got the great privilege of looking after our Blessed Mother when she was on this earth. So, but Bishop Strickland wants to focus on, and he's right, on Jesus and the great gifts of the Catholic faith, and other matters. Then when people are that way, they deal with whatever it is, and it's the example, and pray. You pray for those that are gone so astray, and especially the political establishment. They're going down a very wicked path, and you can't do things like that and call it something that it's not. The innocent are the amount of babies murdered is absolutely astronomical, and it's pure evil. There's no point in calling it anything like what these deluded people call it, and that's what they are, deluded. And I don't know how they can sleep right at night time, whatever's wrong with them. It's a desperate thing to promote and call it something that it's not, and making an issue out of it. And then their political opponents trying to denigrate them and abuse them, and people to support them. Instead of promoting what this President Biden yapped about, unity, he's gone to the opposite. So saying one thing is what you do, and what he's doing is not good. And I can't understand people in the United States supporting any of that good killing of the innocent. Are they blind or stupid or what? Because it's just incredible to think that such evil was inflicted. Thank God in my time as growing up, there was none of that. I'm reaching an age now where I know what's right. And life from conception to natural death, if you're not conceived, you can't be born. And you're born for a purpose. I think there was one incident where Padre Pio, Saint Padre Pio, he suffered greatly at the hands of these ecclesiastical authorities. I think he was silenced and all the rest of it, and then he was reinstated when a different pope came into office. So you get ecclesiastical authorities that do very strange things, and what's a very good person, they put other bad motives. There's something wrong with that carry on. Padre Pio was a very holy man with the stigmata, and but he two people that went to confession that had abortions. He was able to tell them one would have been a pope, the other would have been a cardinal. Can you beat that? He had that insight, that great spiritual knowledge. Apparently, he could be in two places or something like that. He had such great with God and with Jesus. And there's other saints that we know that were in that area as well. Now I'm digressing a bit, but the practicing the Catholic faith in the proper way is the main thing, and all else then flows from the people that are united and respect each other if they're in a married state, and the business of respect. And unfortunately, the people that's ruling and the elite, if we call them that, and they're not elite, they're ones with too much influence, and they have an agenda, and it's probably population control. And Bishop mentions climate. God made the world and he finishes. But you exercise respect, of course, as regards what way you live. And that's common sense, isn't it? I think the supermarkets that want to wake up and have whatever their products are packed in all this plastic want to be degradable. Surely they have some ability to do such a thing, because they're contributing to the pollution of the seas and the rivers as much as anybody. and it's pollution that's the main problem. They talk about the environment and how the rest was. The sky is up there, and they've controlled the smoke end of it. There was places there where London used to be a very foggy place in the winter, and with the smoke and that. So they dealt with that, and the same here. Now, we didn't have that kind of problem that London had with the millions of people that's living in that city. So they stopped the emissions, and then this business of a thick fog that you couldn't nearly see your arm. I worked in it for a few years, but thanks be to God, it didn't suit me whatsoever. I came back here, and I was friends that was over there were talking about how great it was and how the rest of it. I didn't find that, and I don't think they did, because you don't get a welcome the same as you would expect in the United States. You get a welcome, but you don't get it in Britain. They have a snotty old way of going on. But I'm digressing now again. Bishop Strickland is a great bishop, and he preaches the truth, and the truth will set you free. And then you can do things. Then after that, don't put the cart, don't put the horse, don't put the cart before the horse. That's what some of these other ecclesiastics are doing. They're causing confusion. They want to nourish the faith and bring the people back to the practice of the Catholic faith. They've done things that people have drifted away. You can't change everything the way it did. And not alone that country, but in every country, including this. Put back all the altar rails and people kneel receiving Holy Communion at the altar rails attended by a priest with an altar boy or whatever it is, an altar server with a pattern under the chin. And that's all. And have deacons then if there's not enough priest vocations. There was plenty of vocations years ago before they made all the changes and the vocations dropped. Can't make changes like that. Yeah, they want to apologise for those changes that they institute, because they'll have to account. If you're given talents, if you're given responsibility in that area, that great gift of being a priest and preaching, saying the Holy Mass and all the sacraments that Jesus instituted, do this in memory of me, the Holy Communion and the consecration and all this. So these are things that Bishop Strickland is emphasising, and he's quite right. I support him, and Christian TV Ireland supports him 100%. Would that it was more like him. Boy, now, we'll be doing another couple of hymns after this, and then let's talk.